Hello, everyone. Welcome to Queerly Recommended, the podcast where we recommend queer books, films, TV shows, and more. I'm Kris Bryant, a contemporary romance writer for Bold Strokes Books, and this week I'm recommending a film from 2023.
And I'm Tara Scott. I review sapphic fiction at the Lesbian Review and Smart Bitches Trashy Books. And this week I'm recommending a soon to be released
Oh,
sapphic historical romance.
nice.
Very soon, like in a week, like a week from today. And
Oh,
when I say
nice.
today, I mean today when the episode is released, not the actual today in which we are recording.
Right. Got it. Oh, that's exciting.
So, what is up with you?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people already know my kitty story, the little
hmm
kitty cat that found in my shed. Good news. It finally let me pet it. And then it was decided that was the best thing ever in the history of ever. Like, loves to be petted, loves to be just loved on.
So good.
So here's the deal. So I was like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Like, I had to cancel my plans for this weekend. I was gonna go to the lake. I had lake activities planned. So then I had to tell my friends, I'm so sorry, we have to cancel because we have this kitten now.
hmm
So we took the kitten, whose name is Theodore Bear Bryant, who goes by Teddy Bear.
hmm
So we ended up taking Teddy to the vet on Monday, and Teddy has the beginnings of feline RSV.
Aw,
Yeah, I had a few. Oh, I had has pink eye or conjunctivitis.
poor little dude.
I know, and he had just a little bit of fleas, not a lot. I mean, for a cat who'd been living in my shed for 2 weeks, this cat
hmm
didn't have very many. Didn't have a lot of the flea dust. I don't know what they call that, but I think
Mites?
no. It's just like you can tell if fleas have been on an animal. It's like a dan flea dandruff, maybe. I don't know what it's called. Anyway,
hmm
I had to give the kitten a bath. And now the
hmm
kitten is in quarantine for 10 days while I get the eyes fixed, try to help the RSV,
hmm
and no vaccines yet. It'll be next week, maybe, because we were trying to guess
Oh.
on the age. So
hmm
when Kitty first showed up, his eyes were blue-green because all cats are born with blue-green eyes. And now they're yellow. So the vet
Mm.
was like, I think Teddy is about 2 months old. He weighed just slightly over 2 pounds. So they usually say a pound a
hmm
month. So 2 months or yeah. So anyway,
Little dude.
and so we have to wait for this to clear up in the chest before we give him any sort of vaccines. But even I could tell this was a boy. I know I've always had like these things, like I can't tell if Black Kitty's a boy or a girl, and I can't tell if Orange Kitty's a boy or a girl. If they've been fixed, can't find scars. I don't want to dig around on them. That's like invasive.
Wait, so we don't know their genders?
Not really, no.
You're non-binary cats.
Non-binary cats. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm not gonna push it.
hmm
It's like and then I feel bad because but they're also really big cats, like super big
Yeah.
cats. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
they have to be boys. I'm going with
hmm
boys that have been fixed.
hmm
Anyway, so it's just been I have been racing home from work and spending time with the kitten. And last night, get this. So I go
hmm
in there and I'm on my mat because, I don't want to get up from the floor and get down and get up. It's just, I'm at that age where it's
hmm
like everything hurts. So I am on this mat and I'm laying on my stomach, and all of a sudden the kitty jumps on my back, curls up and goes to sleep. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most precious thing ever. And I didn't have my phone with me. So I couldn't, take a picture. And I
hmm
couldn't text Dad to get in here because I needed her to see
hmm
that this was the cutest thing ever. And then the kitty gets up to my middle back and sprawls out. And then he starts kind of sliding. So then he gets in between my shoulder blades. And I'm like, this is the cutest thing ever. And then he rolls over and his head is right by my ear. And, because he's got the chest thing, he's like,
Oh my
and
God.
just right there. And then he ends up just sliding down my shoulder onto the mat. And I'm just curling with him. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So just so sweet. Anyway, so Debbie missed all that because she was watching USA soccer and I was
hmm
being pinned down by a cat. So that, yeah.
Uh, so is Teddy going to be allowed to roam the neighborhood with his siblings, or is he going to be a house cat?
Well, I'm 90% sure that he's going to be a house cat.
hmm
I would like to have a house cat, but also he was outside and I don't want him to miss anything. But he'll have everything on him. If we do let him out, I'm hoping that he's never left the yard. Like he is never
Yeah.
he's kitten. He's always been around. He was under the deck. He's been in the shed. He's never left the yard once. And I think he
Hmm.
wants to be in, but we'll let him decide. And I'll make sure he's tagged, collared, the breakaway, the
Yeah.
collar that breaks away. He'll have a chip. He'll have everything.
Hmm.
I have a feeling I'll spoil him so much. I can already tell him his person. Like he is,
Hmm.
as soon as I come in the room, he like runs over to me. So
That's adorable.
yes. So life is good. Life is good.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Pride month is over, but we're all still gay. So yeah, yes.
Hey.
Woo! Yeah. So let's go.
Uh-huh.
That is my news. What's new with you? What's going on?
Well, we almost had to get new dogs on the weekend
What?
because they're disgusting.
Dogs are kind of
So
gross.
at one point, we're sitting outside.
No.
Our nephew, our 10-year-old nephew, was visiting us. His parents sent him out on a plane kind of ahead of them coming
Oh,
here so he
hmm.
could have, like first little independence. It was really sweet. But we didn't know that he was scared of dogs.
Ow.
And it's honestly like he came so far on the weekend. He did really, really well.
Oh,
And the dogs
nice.
were awesome with him. Like they just knew. But it was so funny that the day he gets there is also the day that like we're outside with the dogs to give them a chance to run around and do all the things. And at one point we look out, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And we thought maybe Henry had barfed.
Oh God.
And then I'm like, wait, what? And then took it across the yard and realized,
Oh
oh no, that's a dead mouse. And he's like
no.
trying to chew it. And I'm like,
Oh.
what?
Oh.
Both dogs end up rolling around in it.
Oh.
And so
Oh.
we have to hose the dogs
Bugs.
out. And I was just like, why? Why is the day this child arrives at our
Oh, I
house,
know.
who is
He's
already concerned about
now
dogs, the
he's
day
scarred.
that one of them becomes a mouse killer?
Ugh.
And because Henry was the one who had it first, I spent the weekend saying, "Hey, mouse killer."
How do you
Uh,
do like do you like how do you clean their mouths? Like what do you do?
well, I definitely didn't let them kiss me for 2 days, and I didn't kiss them for 2 days. The mouth, we didn't really like that'll take care of itself pretty quickly as they like drink water and eat food and
Mm,
that kind of
yeah,
thing.
that's
But
true.
I mean, and with Henry, like I thought he had rolled around in it, but I wasn't 100% sure. But then he came up and he's like fucking stinky. I was like, what
Okay,
is with
bath
you?
time.
Because I don't know, but like Ember is her fur is because he's a little black dog. Like for people that
Hmm.
don't know, Henry Rollins is a little black dog, but Miss Perfect Ember Scott
Hmm.
is a light furred dog. And so we were just gonna not tell the kids until our youngest comes outside and is like, "What's on Ember's back? It looks like blood." And it's like, oh. Well, one of the dogs unalived a
Unalived
mouse
mouse. Oh
and
no.
then
Why do they roll in it?
maybe rolled around it. Okay, so we were curious too. Why do they roll around in it?
Yes. Why do they roll in it? Tell me. Tell
So
us.
Neil looked it up, and based on what I remember him telling me, because I'm not looking it up again, and
Mm,
it's basically like a way to, well, they just think it smells interesting, and it's kind of like a scent
gross.
diary, so they can bring it back to the pack and say, "Hey, look what I found." Which, like, well, that's kind of cool, but also that's disgusting. It's absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting. And I was like, well, I guess we got to get new dogs now because that's the grossest thing
Well, put
ever.
them out on the curb.
Blech.
Get the new
No,
ones.
thank you. So that was gross. And also, so last time I mentioned my kids were finishing school. My oldest
Yes.
is off to high school. I still can't believe it. We're enjoying summer vacation, but we wanted to an opportunity came up to celebrate the
Oh,
kids. Might be a more, I mean, of course,
yes.
we were going to celebrate it anyway. There's always like a, hey, do you want to like pick a special meal, that sort of thing. But
Right.
I saw over on Blue Sky that James Ortiz, who is the puppeteer and the voice for Rocky from Project Hail Mary, was on Cameo. And somebody was saying that he
Yay.
did an amazing job. And I mean, you remember I was talking about how we watched it as a family. We
Hmm.
really loved
Hmm.
it. Neil had seen it before, but the kids and I hadn't. And, all three of us cried. And
Seen
they,
it twice.
Yeah. Right?
So,
Like those kids
yes.
love and especially loved Rocky. And I
Hmm.
looked and honestly, it was like he was on there for I don't I think he was running some kind of a special at the time because it was like this rate for the next, 8 people or whatever. But it ended up being, I think it was like 78 American or 102 Canadian, which
Mm,
was like amazing,
yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
So submitted a thing just saying, this is my first kid's name, finishing middle school, going to high school. This is my second kid's name, finishing this grade,
Hmm.
whatever. Loved Project Hail Mary, and as the kids would say, they would die for Rocky.
Right.
He was, well, I sent it to you because I got
Yes.
so excited. He was so
Amazing.
good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So good. I thought, he did a fabulous job of personalizing it for each of the kids.
That's
And then,
very
of
sweet.
course, ends it as if, in the voice of Rocky saying, Rocky would say to you in this moment. And it was so lovely. So it
Yeah.
was just, we surprised the kids with it, put it on the, opened it on the laptop and plugged it into the TV. So they got to see it on the TV and they were both
That's awesome.
so happy. And I'm so glad I did not
I
record.
know, because I was like, hey, record it. I want to see. I wanted to be a part of it because it just, I knew it was going
Yeah.
to be amazing and cool and the kids would love it. And then,
They did. They
yeah.
both burst into tears. They were so happy. I kind of feel like we won the end of
Oh
school
yeah, that's
year.
right. I did a cameo one time for my mom's birthday and it was Jamie
Yeah.
Farr from MASH.
Okay, so inspired by you, I also got
Look at
Jamie
that.
Farr for my
See?
dad's birthday
Oh, did you
one
really?
year. I
You
did.
didn't tell me, or
Because
you
it was
did.
I didn't. Oh my God.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was I can't remember how long ago. Oh, I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago because my dad turned 70 that year.
Mm,
And then I can't remember which anniversary of theirs it was. It might have been their 45th because next year is their 50th anniversary.
mm.
I got Richard, what's his name, who was John Boy on the Waltons,
Oh, okay.
who
I
is
don't know his
also
name.
in
Yeah.
like some procedural show. I can't remember, whatever. But I got him to do it for them because the first year they were married, they watched the Waltons every episode. And so it was kind of a nice, but this was the third one and it was he crushed it. I
I
I
think
mean
he
when I
did
saw
too.
it, I was so
Yeah.
excited. So I was saying to a friend, because it was interesting, I went on Cameo to leave a review for James Ortiz because he did such a great job.
Hmm.
And I kind of stumbled into the music section and I took a screenshot of this one row. And I said to my friend, like, I feel like there's a master's thesis waiting to be written about who's on Cameo and at what price. Because, like, look at this row. So there's Randy Travis for 284 Canadian, Ted Nugent for
Oh my gosh.
569 Canadian.
Boo.
Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray
Hmm.
is on there for 121 Canadian. Snoop Dogg was
Stop.
on there. He was only offering 8 of them, but for
Dang.
$7,000.
Nope. And
But then
plus,
another row had Arlo Guthrie, Engelbert Humperdinck, Kenny G, and Bootsy Collins. Like, what? Like some genuine legends
wow.
in their areas are just
I
on
mean, that's
Cameo?
like quick money, easy money. I should get on Cameo.
You should get on.
$10 a pop.
There you go.
I'll say what
Get
you want me
Kris to tell off whoever you want.
Right. Or yeah, exactly. I'll do it. I'll do
Ugh.
it.
All right, Kris.
Yes.
I feel like I could just keep talking nonsense forever. It's
Oh,
that
I
kind of day.
know.
I told
It
Kris before we
is.
started recording, how many meetings did I say I had today? 8.
8. That's
I had
terrible.
8 meetings in 5 hours. So I am not focused.
You.
So
It's gonna be hard.
sorry.
It's okay.
Um,
It's okay.
so what have you been watching lately?
So last night I watched The Sheep Detectives, and
Hmm.
it's a movie. It's on Amazon Prime, and it has Hugh Jackman and a bunch of other cool celebrities, the voices. And I absolutely love this movie. It was
Yeah.
adorable. It was funny. It was sad. It was uplifting and completely entertaining. And I highly recommend it. I just thought,
My kids loved it.
yes. I knew that my if my mom was still around, she would love that too. She would watch it over
Yeah.
and over again because it's just
Yeah.
adorable, and then you go on and you read who the characters, the voices, who they are, and you can see.
Yes.
I love it when artists do this. They use the voice and the narrator. The
Mm.
character takes on some of the traits of the narrator. So
Hmm.
I love that. I love that so much. So I watched that movie, and then a new season of Alone started.
That's amazing.
I wish I could binge it, but it's not an option because it's the once a week crap that we have to deal with now.
Yeah.
But it's an international season. International. Yes, it's international. And there's some really cool people from Canada, from Australia, from Slovenia, Portugal, New Zealand, and only two or three from the USA. So it's still
That's
somewhere like
cool.
it's either up in I honestly don't know where it is. It's somewhere really cold or will be really cold. Arctic Circle. So it's north. I don't know, but if it's Arctic Circle Alaska or
So,
Arctic Circle Canada.
yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
So I'm not quite sure where it is. So there's this one US guy, and you can tell he not only is he a Trumper, but he is the worst survivalist ever in the history of being a survivalist. Like, do you remember when American Idol first started years and years ago, and the
Hmm.
producers would pass through people that were terrible singers, and they just
Oh,
did it
yeah.
just to like kind of pick. And there's a part
Yeah.
of me that I was like, well, did they do this for ratings? But then I'm like, why would they do this on an international competition? You know, they have the best of the best from all these countries to come out and do this show. You know, this dude was going on and on about how great he is. And I live in Alaska and I hunted this and I've done this and done that. And he lights a fire and because he's on the beach and he drops his ferro rod in the fire and it burns up. And
Sorry,
he's
that's not
like,
nice, but I'm just so shocked. Like,
I'm just
that's
like
the most
this.
important thing he has, so he can never let that fire go
Yes.
out.
And guess what he did?
He let the fire go out?
He let the fire go out. So rather than take it, like, here, I'm just going to take the stick with the fire on it and take it over back to the house, back to the shelter I've made so I can cook this beaver I killed. But no, I didn't. He goes, I don't know why I didn't think about it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this guy drives cars, I'm sure. Like, he is out on the road. Somebody with this kind of like, whew,
He might have kids.
you know, and it just shocked
Has he
me.
gone home yet?
Oh yeah, he had to tap out because he's like, well, I can't start a fire. I just, at least he recognized that he wasted the beaver meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did recognize that. So that was a one good thing. But also he says, I know that people are going to give me a hard time about this because I just know that they are. And you're like, yeah, dude, yeah, we are because that was terrible. Like seriously, that would be me out there. Even I would know, like, I'm going to put this in a very safe place now. It is the one thing that will keep me alive out here.
You know what I would do?
You wouldn't be there.
Correct.
Yes, yes. And then House of the Dragon season three premiered. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Do you remember when the first season premiered and I hated it until the
Yes.
very last episode? And I'm like, I'm hooked. That
Yeah.
last episode got me.
Yeah.
So then when season two started, I had to go back and rewatch season one because I'm like, I don't remember shit. There's too
Mm-hmm.
much going on. And I
Mm-hmm.
watch too much stuff. And my brain has some of it has to escape. And so usually it's
Yeah.
a series. So this one was I'm like, I don't want to rewatch season two. I just don't. I don't want to rewatch it.
No, go read the Wikipedia recap.
Well, so what I ended up doing was I went to YouTube and they
Oh,
have like
that's
a
a good
recap,
idea.
like season one and two recap. It was like a half
Yep.
hour long. And I'm still like, what the
Brilliant.
fuck? Who are these people? Who is this guy? Where did he come from? I mean, I remember some of the basic stuff, like who the king was, and I was like,
Hmm.
she hooked up with her uncle? She did what? Like there's so many things that I was just like I was lost on, but I'm like, I don't care, I'm gonna start this. And so
Hmm.
starting it and I can still follow it. So there's been like two episodes and I've been following it. So
Good.
yeah, that's what I have been watching. I haven't done anything else but play with a kitten. So what about
That's
you?
pretty good. I have been watching. Okay, so Drag Race All Stars season 11, they are into the semifinals. So I think I
Ooh,
mentioned they're doing the whole brackets thing again this
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah.
And so they did a thing though. So the last episode I watched, they were deciding who from the third bracket was going to go forward. And in the previous two, only two people could go forward. And in the first bracket, even there was a tie between these two queens because there was one who was clearly going forward, and then there was a tie for points between these other two
Mhm.
queens. And so RuPaul picked one and just said, I am the
Wow.
decider.
Why not? Yeah.
Right.
My show.
And we know there's a chance for one queen to come back because Rue and Michelle are each going to choose. They decided they're going to like each choose a queen from one of the brackets or something. And anyway,
Huh.
there would be like a random pull, and one of them will come back in later. So we get to the end of this episode. There's one queen who's clearly going forward. There's two queens who are tied for points. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
wonder which one RuPaul's going to choose. And then RuPaul says, you're both going forward. And I was like, if
Oh.
I was Morgan McMichaels, the queen who was not chosen in that first bracket, I would be fucking furious.
Mm.
Like, I would be just beyond angry. So I'm hoping she's the queen who ends up coming back. I mean, I'd be happy to see any of the three. They were all very good. But like, it just feels unfair. And I'm like, justice for this queen, as though reality shows aren't produced. Like you can just feel the heavy hand of the producer.
Oh
Like it's
yeah, for
fine.
sure, for sure.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm curious to see what it's like when they bring them all back together
Mm.
again. Also, I've been watching, I think I've mentioned before about the like on dropout.tv. It's our favorite streaming service. It's a lot of like improv things, but they have a show on there called Dimension 20, which is like live you're watching like live tabletop gaming, so like people playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm watching a season.
Oh,
It's
cool.
always pretty queer, but I'm watching like a super queer season right now called A Court of Fae and Flowers, and it's a
Ooh.
really fun season because even though it's built off of the Dungeons and Dragons system, the game master Abria Iyengar has done like a lot of other things to it. And so it's kind of like Regency. It's basically like Bridgerton, but like
Ooh.
with magical fae people and like all this court intrigue and stuff. And I am absolutely hooked. The
Oh,
character work
nice.
at it is incredible because it's also like it tends to be improv people who are playing the characters. And so like it's very funny at times, it's very touching at times. Like it's so good. So I think if anybody's been wondering like what should I watch on Dimension 20 and you haven't seen A Court of Fay and Flowers, highly
Oh,
recommend it.
nice. Nice. I love it.
And
Mm.
I'm reading another book by JJ Arias. I've started her
Yay.
Control series. So it's the book called Losing Control. And this one is about a talent agent. So Adriana's boss had been Roxy's agent and was like, you are just way too wild. And I am like done and handed her off. And the tour manager quit just
Oh,
before she's about to go on a big US tour. And so Roxy and Adriana are on the tour bus, and Adriana's like very straight laced, like kind of the I I don't know. I guess she's an ice queen. I wouldn't say she's like the iciest ice queen I've ever read, but she's like, I'm a business person and we are going to do business. And no, you're not gonna have all these women on your bus. Get everybody the fuck off this bus. You're gonna go to bed at reasonable times. We're definitely not going to have sex, except they're
no.
very attracted to each other.
So of course they're
And
gonna have
so
sex.
they're going to have sex at some point. They haven't yet where I'm at, but they're pretty close. It's just interesting to see like this person who's been all work and no play, and this other
Mm.
person who's been like lots of play. And she does work hard as an artist,
Mhm.
but who doesn't let people in, who's never had a real relationship before. So I'm enjoying it a lot. The friend who recommended her other book to me recommended this one. So
Nice.
Brennan never steers me wrong. So I'm really enjoying that.
Good.
All right, Kris, what is your official recommendation this week?
Yay. Okay, so my official recommendation is a movie that's free on Tubi right now called Riley.
Okay.
So what I did, because again, kitten lore, I've got a lot going on with the kitten. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I really can't read, so let's watch some TV.
Yeah.
So I Googled LGBTQ movies in June and I was like, oh, Connor Story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we all know him
And for
from Heated
people who
Rivalry.
don't know who
Yes.
he is,
He's the Russian hockey player from Heated Rivalry.
or if you've never seen Heated Rivalry like me, he's the one with the light hair.
He's the one with the light hair and the Russian accent. So,
Hmm.
so I'm like, okay, I'll watch it because he also plays a queer in this movie. So, all right,
Yeah.
let's do it. Here's the synopsis. Ambitious high school athlete Dakota Riley begins his senior year like most of his peers, within the confines of the steady monotony that comes with adolescence. Sports, classrooms, dinner tables, school halls. With high expectations for his athletic pursuits, Dakota lives within carefully designed boundaries, a calculated blueprint upon which he's formed the basis of his identity. But when the reality of this identity is thrown to disarray, Dakota is forced to confront the consequences of denying himself or come to terms with who he really is. So this story has been told 1,000 times before. This is every coming out story, high school coming out story, with a bit of a twist. And you and I kind of were talking about this right before we started recording. The reason why I like these movies is because every time I see one, it's more and more accepted to come out. People are more
Hmm.
like, it's fine. People come out all the time, whereas 10 years ago, it wasn't nearly as accepted. And 20 years ago, it was terrible. And 30 years was unheard of. So I like to see the growth of movies. I like to see how directors and how writers and how they show that whole level of
Hmm.
acceptance that they have now, especially the younger they are. So like,
Yes.
kids can be openly queer in high school and even middle school and not have as bad of a I don't even know what to call it from like when you and I were in high school. There's absolutely no way. And
Oh
I
my God, nobody was out in my high
no,
school.
we
And
all
like for
knew.
sure there were queer
Oh
people
yeah.
there. I know of one definitely because he found me on Facebook and he has a husband now, but like
Hey. Right. Yeah.
nobody was out.
So we all knew Jimmy was gay. Jimmy didn't know he was gay, but we all knew Jimmy was gay.
Hmm.
And I had a girl ask me out.
That's nice.
And I didn't know what to do with that. Like literally, I had no queerness in my life at all. I just knew,
Hmm.
hey, I kind of like girls, but I didn't know.
But did you like this girl?
I didn't. I didn't.
That's okay. You're not
But
gonna
I
like
think
every
about her
girl.
from time to time. I think about her because she was
That
really
was
nice and
brave.
fun. Yes, very, very brave. Like, there's no way. I don't know that I don't think I've ever asked anybody out on a date.
Chris Bryant.
Shut up, right? I mean,
To
either
be
that or
fair,
it's
I
been
don't
so
know that I
long.
have either.
Yeah, see,
But also
it's
I've been
been too
married
long.
for
Yeah. It's been a long
almost,
time.
yeah,
I
almost
bet you
18
I
years.
have zero game. I have to have no game. Like there's no way that somebody like me has game. There's no way. Anyway,
Ask Deb.
okay, yeah. I'll be like, "Tap game." She'll be like, "Go sit down." All right. So, okay, so back to my movie Riley.
Yes, yes,
I thought the acting was really good and the way it was filmed. I am all about the cinematography, how
you
things are
are.
filmed.
Yeah.
And it was so fluid and I wasn't bored once. I thought it was just really a good
Hmm.
movie. There were only a few things I didn't like. So let's get that out of the way right now. Let's just get it out of the way. Like, as
Hmm.
much as I adore Connor's story, especially he had long hair. He has long hair in this one. Yeah. Yeah, he has long hair in this one. Like he and the lead guy, Dakota Riley, were supposed to be like 18-year-olds in high school. And when they
Hmm.
filmed this, they were both 23 years old and they looked like they were mid to late 20s.
Oh no.
So
No, no, no.
that kind of threw me for a little bit. But the whole, all right, okay, I'll go with it because
Hmm.
what did you mention? Oh yeah, 90210.
Oh yeah, I we were talking about this a little bit before we started filming and I made a joke about the Luke
Yeah, I
Perry
mean,
effect. Well, it's like
all of them. They were
it's
all like,
well, I talked about the birdcage
yes.
recently and the guy who plays their
Mhm.
son
How old's he supposed to be?
and also Callista Flockhart, she was like almost she was around 30, I think.
Mm,
Like, and you're watching, it's like these people are not
yeah,
20
no.
years
Yeah.
old.
And the older I get, the
Out of,
younger everybody looks. I'm like, you can't look like me and then play like you're teenagers. You can't do
mm-mm,
that. Like no, no, no,
no,
no. So,
correct.
so I didn't like that. So let's talk about Dakota a little bit.
Hmm.
So he's a wide receiver on high school and on the high school football team, and he has like six offers from colleges to go
Whoa.
play ball, and he can't make up his mind. Like right now he is in a complete spiral
Hmm.
because it's become the pressure of being who he is and trying to figure that out is really taking its toll on him. And his dad, played college football, like was going to make it in the pros, but got
Hmm.
hurt. And so it's all he's put all the pressure on Dakota to make the dream come true. So he's living vicariously through his son, which is a
Hmm.
terrible thing to do,
Oh
but
yeah.
people do it. He's got so much on his mind. So he hooks up with this guy. It starts off and he's already hooking up with this much older guy. And I'm just kind of like, whoa, like what? What's happening here? But he can't acknowledge what's happening. He kind of has internal homophobia, like,
Hmm.
and he has to deal with that. I mean, that I'm sure a lot of people have to go through
Hmm.
that. But when his friends joke around with him and the quarterback, the high school quarterback, for some reason we don't know, he gets kicked out of his home. So Dakota says, "Hey, you can stay with me." So he sleeps on the floor
Okay.
in Dakota's room. And so somebody on the team is joking around with them and says, how many blowjobs did you have to give the quarterback to get as many, passes as you're getting? And that sets him off and they get in this huge fight because, somebody's accusing him of being gay
Hmm.
and he doesn't like it and it's, he's lashing out. And so people can't understand what he's going through, and he just doesn't want to admit that he's gay or queer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's real hard for him. Now here's where it gets interesting. So Connor Story plays a character named Liam, and
Mm-hmm.
Liam happens to be, follow me,
Okay.
happens to be Dakota's girlfriend's best friend.
Okay.
So Dakota, there's this girl, woman, she's a girl, teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She is interested in him, so he kind of forces himself to like, I need to play this role and I need a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. I'm, one of the top football players. I need a girlfriend, and I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend. So he asks her, and suddenly they're boyfriend girlfriend, and she wants to do boyfriend girlfriend things. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like really stressed. If his body's not responding, because of course it's not gonna respond."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then like he tries some things and he's like, this is like the worst day of my life. And she's
Mm.
like, never mind. So you could just tell like it's not there. And so
No
he's just got to
chemistry.
figure out, right? No chemistry. And she's trying to figure things out. He's trying to figure things out. So this best friend, Liam, everybody knows he is interested in men, males, men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's interested in men. I don't want, it's weird. I don't know what to call high schoolers, teenagers. He's interested in
The other boys.
the other boys. But we don't know like if he doesn't like labels. At least I don't know that he picked up a label. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were teasing him because he likes to give blowjobs. That's like his thing. And so the rest of the football team, makes fun of him. And anyway, so Dakota gets into a team French and for his French class, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
so of course he gets paired up with Liam, and
Mm-hmm.
he has to go over to Liam's house because they
Mm-hmm.
have to do some French cooking because Liam is French, which is kind of cool because he does like speak French, and it's kind of sexy because French is
Mm-hmm.
sexy. So something happens there, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And and I guess I don't know because I'm a girl. I, I don't know what boys go through when they fight feelings that they have. Like it seems like every movie I watch, it becomes physical, like fighting type thing. And I don't know
Mm.
if that's really a thing or if that's just something that Hollywood or whoever has hooked onto, and like when they are attracted, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know
that's a
either.
whole thing. I don't know. So I went down a dark hole. Sorry. No pun intended, or maybe there is a pun intended.
Heyo.
Hey. So anyway, so the reason why I like this movie is because, like I said, it flowed very easily, and the ending, I really liked the ending. It was a realistic ending. It wasn't like a seamed up and the world's great and everybody accepts me. It wasn't like that. It was an open-ended interpretation of the movie.
Hmm.
You got to figure out what you thought was going on, and but it led you in a direction that you would eventually get to where it needed to be. Yeah, so like I said, it just makes my queer heart happy to see like movies that are made now and recently are so much better at coming out, and the
Mm-hmm.
the path is a lot easier for the kids nowadays than it was when we were kids. So I really appreciate that with the storytelling that's happening in movies today. So
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it. It's free. It's on Tubi. Just go to tubi.com. It's called Riley, and you get to see the cute little Connor. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. And it was fun because I was like, okay, so I really enjoyed him in Heated Rivalry, so I'm gonna enjoy this. And I did. So that's my
Fantastic.
official recommendation. What about you, Tara? What's yours?
All right, so mine is called Caroline's Courtesan by Jess Michaels.
Mm.
So this takes place in like I think the year it starts. Oh no, I can't remember the year it starts. I don't think it starts at 1807. I'm terrible, but I do remember that being one of the years. This is a book that takes place like from the very beginning to the end of the epilogue takes place over 12 years. And the main
Oh,
story takes place over like 7 years. It starts at the very beginning of the 19th century.
okay.
Caroline is a widow. She was married off when she was like 17 to this way, way, way older man. He was like in his 60s. She hated being married to him, but it was one of those like advantageous, both politically
Right.
and
Oh,
financially. So she's had a life of privilege, but she's never like, she doesn't know what good sex looks like. She's never understood people who want to do that.
right.
She's never experienced romantic love. And the love that she does have in her life is for her nieces. But now that she's widowed, she's independent, she has money, she's taken care of. She can do
Yeah.
she can do what she
Woo!
wants, she can read what she wants, she can basically do
Live
everything.
the life.
Right. this is where it's interesting because the if I just go based off of what the blurb says, which I kind of just freestyled some of that, it's going to make no sense about like how they came to know each other, her and her love interest. Caroline has three nieces. Her brother is a complete and total asshole. So the
Ow.
story opens with her brother is like packing up his shit. He's really angry. He's like yelling in her face. He hauls off and almost punches her at one point because he wants to know where
Damn.
his eldest daughter is, his daughter Arabella. So this asshole has three daughters and he's looking to marry Arabella off. And Arabella's like, fuck that. And so
No.
she had been staying with her aunt because Caroline's very close to her nieces.
Mm.
And it turns out Arabella has run to the home of Simone.
Mm.
Simone is a courtesan. She is independent and
Oh.
she is a sex worker. She does not work on the street though. Like she finds a protector,
Hmm.
is seen kind of in public with him,
Oh.
has sex with him, hopes that it's good, but whatever. And then at the end of it, when their arrangement is done, typically they will give them a lot of money. And this is somebody who, so she's actually quite wealthy now. She is very independent. She just came to her independence very differently than Caroline did. And one by one, as Caroline's nieces are like, I don't want to marry these horrible people that my
Right.
father is trying to marry me off to, because Caroline's brother is the one who chose this horrible husband for her.
Ah,
Her
God.
parents had been dead. And so that's how she comes to meet Simone because when her brother leaves, she goes to Simone's house and she's like, look, I know my niece is here. Is she okay? And it's
Mm.
this like genuinely kind of beautiful interaction between them. They kind of keep bumping into each other
Mm.
for years.
Mm.
And
Ah. Slow burn.
right, yeah, it's kind of. And so Simone, I think, kind of likes. I like this part of the blurb where it says her playful interactions with the very proper Caroline were at first just for fun, but somehow they've become much more
Oh.
serious and left ripples in their wake she never expected. And so there's this like, she's kind of poking at her
Ripples.
with this, like, I know you know what I do to get my money. And then it's like, oh no, you're beautiful and I'm attracted to you. And what do I do with this? So I loved this book. Like, I really, really loved it. And I
Ah.
was very curious when I was browsing through NetGalley. That's where I get some of my advanced review copies from. And I saw it there and I was like, wait, haven't I read a book by her before? And I did. I read a book by Jess
Oh.
Michaels more than a decade ago when I was still reading straight romances. She's written a lot of them. The premise really caught me because this idea of like a very proper lady and a sex worker in the
Right.
early 19th century. And I was like, okay, how are we gonna make this one work? And it was great.
Mm.
Here's the thing that I didn't know when I started reading it. It is the
Uh-oh.
fourth book in the series.
Oh. But it didn't read like a fourth book, right?
It didn't come across that way to me at first.
Mm.
And I'll get
Okay.
into some of that a little bit more later. But I'm wondering if you can guess who the other three books are about.
The niece one,
Yep,
niece two, niece three.
correct. And so all the books are about the nieces. Like, yes, they also all take on protectors and become sex workers, but they also all find love with some of them with men who are actually their protectors, and then one of them with some other dude who's related to one of them. But here's the thing, I didn't read them. It didn't matter to me. It did
Right.
explain some things that were happening in the story.
Mm.
But yeah, so
Hmm.
they end up in each other's orbit because Simone is helping, like one by one, she helps these nieces. And of course, like once the first niece is kind of in that world, she can also help her sisters. But it's this little, it's interesting. It's this almost little found family vibe happening there because Simone
Hmm.
is sort of a part of their family. She becomes very good friends with all of them. And I love the scene where they meet when Caroline is saying, like, what's going on with Arabella? Is she all right? Because Arabella was just like, I'm not doing this. Can you teach me to do what you do? I want to do what you do. Can you help me do that? Because I would rather do
Show me.
that. Which was really great. But what I loved was how surprised Simone is that Caroline is genuine and that she's
Oh.
not going to cut her niece out of her life.
Hmm.
Because that would be the thing
That's
to do,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
bringing shame on the family. She's like, I don't care. You're going to come to my house and I'll come visit you wherever you are. And so, like I mentioned, it takes place over 7 years. There's an epilogue 5 years later. And so they keep bumping into each other
Hmm.
occasionally with, one of the nieces might be around, but a lot of the time they're not. And so they might bump into each other like at the bookstore
Oh,
or at
bookstores.
the dressmaker shop, or
There
there's
you
like
go.
this intellectual salon that they like to go to. And they're both attracted to each other. But the thing is, Simone knows that she's sexually attracted to Caroline. Caroline
Mhm.
just knows that she has this like funny feeling when she sees her because she's had sex with one person and it was horrible and it's
Yeah.
1807 or whatever. So when it starts, Caroline is 33 and Simone is also in her 30s. And so when
Mm.
it's in the epilogue, they're also in their 40s. So that's one of the things I love about this is I'm not reading about 21-year-olds. Like
Right, right.
I prefer reading about women in their 30s and 40s in these romances. As we go through, it's clear like it's not just Simone that thinks Caroline is beautiful. A lot of the men do too. And,
Oh,
she's had people try to marry her and she's like, no, thank you.
fuck that.
No,
No.
fuck that. I do not want that. Because she doesn't need to marry. Her husband left
Right.
enough for her. She doesn't want to have sex again. None of that either. And so her arc
Mm-mm.
is really and like her side of the romance is about coming to understand herself and learning like, oh, there's a reason I don't want to have sex with men.
Mm.
And it feels really nice to kiss Simone. Like really, really nice.
Softer.
She's a
Mm.
lesbian. She just doesn't know. And so like that first kiss is
Yay.
so good because it's such a surprise for her and it's so enlightening. And so her story is this, she has to make a decision. She's never really made a choice for herself before. So is she going to go after a life that's like vibrant and authentic, or is she just going to keep going through the motions of life because that's
Mm.
what expected? Simone's arc is completely different. She's highly sought after. She's wealthy. She was very careful in the protectors that she chose along the way. She knows how to play the social game very well. And she's actually a very, very thoughtful and conscientious mentor to those three
Wow.
sisters.
Okay.
Because she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to take them under her wing and make sure they know how to choose good protectors. And
So how come the brother didn't bring the cops? Was that a thing? Could you do that? Like, my daughters are here.
I genuinely have no
I
idea. I
don't
don't
know
think,
either.
well, he
Like, what are the
didn't know. That
rules?
was why he almost punched his sister because
Oh,
he's like, you know where she is. You need to tell
okay.
me. And she's like, I simply don't, which was a lie. But he never figured
Oh,
that out.
right.
So I don't know if and where he comes up again. That's probably in the sisters' books
Okay.
somehow. Because at one point it was just like, and he's dead. And I'm like, he's dead.
What?
What what happened? How'd he die? When did he die? I mean,
Right.
good. Fuck that guy. He could kick rocks. He was terrible.
Yeah.
But it was one of those like, what? So
Yeah. Did I miss something?
yeah, so I don't really know. And I don't care. Fuck that guy. I'm
That's
glad he's
fair. That
dead.
was just a question. Yeah.
It was a good
Fuck him.
question. He probably would have. Like he would have gone and demanded and hauled her out. And
Hmm.
he probably would have beaten his daughter. Like he's clearly like
Right.
he is a violent man. And those
Mm.
girls are not okay. And he doesn't care if they end up with men who are violent.
Right. He just is there for the money or whatever.
Hmm.
Mm.
But Simone, so like I said, she's an excellent mentor and a very, very good friend and remains very, very good friends to them. But
Mm.
she knows she's attracted to Caroline, and that's fine. Like she's used to being attracted to people.
Mm.
But then she's very surprised when she realizes, oh no, there are real feelings here.
Oh.
This is not just about wanting to have fun in bed. And then that terrifies her because she doesn't know what that is. Like she is a self-made person and she did not make herself based on her feelings. And so her arc
Right.
is all about trusting that there
Mm.
can actually be something real there, especially given the differences in their positions in respectable society. She
Mm.
feels like to be with her, Caroline would have to sacrifice. How can
So
that
where does
be?
this take place? Is it like
In
in
London.
London or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It takes place in London.
Sounds Londony.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's great. And so I thought, the chemistry for me worked really well because I loved
Nice.
Usually we see characters fall, like when we see people falling in love, it's over a relatively short period of time. And like
Right.
maybe it's months, but we see sort of scenes. But no, it's like they might go 6 months without seeing each other. They might go a year without seeing each other. But it's this slow bumping into each other, having these little moments. And it's this building from moment to moment to moment.
Mm.
And like I loved seeing them, especially at the intellectual salons, and this kind of, especially at first, where it's like, oh, I didn't know you'd be here. I didn't know you would be here. Oh, what do you think of this artist? Well, I think that, like it's just,
Oh,
it's so good seeing them build connections in multiple ways. And I'll say the book was also like from a social standpoint, it's pretty explicit about how women in different echelons, like you just don't necessarily get to choose you can't always choose your husband. Like Caroline,
right.
she has a lot less freedom, so much less freedom than women in, say, the upper echelons of sex work, like Simone and Caroline's
Oh,
nieces. But also, like, we are not seeing like these are not people in difficult circumstances. Like,
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
bad things can and do happen to them in moments, but it's not like somebody trying to survive on the street or in
Right.
a brothel where they have control they have control over themselves.
Hmm.
And so I don't know enough historical background to poke holes in any of the
Hmm.
if you are a historical purist, I suspect this may not be the book for you. But I enjoyed it.
What? Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of an interesting and a fair enough thing to get into that comparison of like, okay, so you might have you kind of get to choose between like freedom and respectability to a certain extent. So,
Hmm.
like I said, I didn't know this was part of a series. This was the only drawback for me, if you will, because there were moments where like something would happen with the nieces, like the youngest of the nieces at one point there's like literally a throwaway line about her getting kidnapped and I'm like, "What? The fuck?"
Oh, yeah. So
So,
that.
so like something would be a throwaway line, like their father being dead. And I'm like, did that happen? And what happened? And so, because I didn't know it was part of a series, I'm like, well, that seems like kind of a weird thing to not get into. And it's like, oh, right. It turns out there's a whole other book where you can
Mm.
get that information. And the reason I didn't know was I looked this up on Goodreads. Goodreads doesn't say that it's part of a series. It was only when I went
Oh.
to Amazon after I finished reading it
Oh,
that it was like,
okay.
oh, it's
Yeah.
the fourth book in
That's a
this
good
series.
idea.
And I was
Yeah.
like, ah, yes, okay. That makes much more sense. And so it's like a silly thing that I probably should have clocked sooner, but I trusted Goodreads too much.
Mean
That's on
reads.
that's on me. Yeah, bean reads, bad reads.
Bad
Um,
reads.
so yeah, I loved it. I read the whole thing in a day, like last Saturday.
Ah, wow. Good.
Yeah, I had the house to myself last Saturday. I read the whole thing that day. It was fantastic. It's such a gentle read. Like it's a really, really lovely, gentle read. And so I
Hmm.
put it immediately in my faves folder because like it's definitely like that'll be a nice
Oh,
one to choose
right.
as like a
Sounds
comfort
like it.
read,
Hmm.
or maybe if I've had a little drink and I want to read something
Ah,
where it
drinky,
doesn't matter if
drinky.
I retain details. This would be a good
And
one.
you know it's going to end well and it's going to
Uh-huh.
make you feel warm and fuzzy. Then yes, definitely.
Exactly. So I think,
Agreed.
if you're somebody who grew up reading mainstream historical romances and always
Yes,
wished they
me.
were sapphic, this is it.
Hmm.
This is the one. It does the thing, and I loved it very much. So it's called Caroline's Courtesan by Jess Michaels. Highly recommend. I hope she writes more sapphic books because I really,
Oh,
really
nice.
liked it.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
I like when somebody who typically write like I like it. I know this is gonna be a controversial take, or this might be a controversial take in our community,
Ooh,
but
go
I
for
like
it.
it when somebody who typically writes straight romances and is a popular author writes a sapphic
Oh,
romance because they have a
gotcha.
readership and they typically
Right.
have like a pretty big built-in readership and they draw attention to the fact that
Right.
there are books like this out there. So maybe they'll go out and find more. So my hope is that this will also lead to people
Oh,
coming over to our little section of the
that
literary
would be
landscape.
nice. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So that is all for this
Nice.
episode. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've enjoyed it and you haven't subscribed in your podcast app yet, please do. If you have a friend that you think would like anything we talked about today, please tell them all about it. And if you want to support us, we have a link in our show notes to our coffee.
And if you want to connect with us on your favorite social media sites, we have links in the show notes for those too. Or you can just search for Queerly Recommended or email us at podcast@queerlyrecommended.com. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.